One time for your mind, two times for your drink. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. My name is DJ George Chuck, and I am here to let you know that tonight we will be discussing these executive orders of Agent Orange, also known as the recently inaugurated president of the United States. These so-called United States. From the marginalized to the middle class, everybody's affected. No one escapes Trump's executive orders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nightcap Knowledge. Oh, there you go. He back. Hold on. Give him some drums, Mac. Give him some drums, Mac. Give him the drums, Mac. Yeah. Hey, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all better play the drums. You better play the drums, man. What's happening?
Man, what's the deal? Pickle, is everything kosher?
Man, as kosher as it gonna get. Yeah, it's some deal and something else up in here.
It's his boy in the hug and lowdown. There's some shiggity going on around here.
Man, golly. I don't even know what to tell you, big dog, but I know what to tell you.
Hey, buddy, it is.
Dog, do you see? I ain't even gonna put CJ on screen yet. He back there licking his fingers. He eating. Let me be quiet. Hello. They say we can't cuss in the first 5 minutes. They say we can't cuss in the
on the screen eating. Don't put CJ on the screen eating. Don't do that.
Good God.
Don't do that. Oh,
well, Lord. Matt, go and give him the disclaimer, bro. Come on. We got to get this thing going. Come on.
This show is rated Black and Uncensored. Real talk, real issues, and real solutions. We had to tell it like a TI is. Hey, we're not a part of the hypersensitive group. If this might not be the show for you, you might hear some stuff that you might not like. But we're going to make sure we're going to tell it like a TI is.
Like a TI is.
Stuff that's going on right now. Boy, it's going to be hard not to curse in these first. Let's talk about something else so we can.
Oh, we're at 5 minutes now. So go ahead and do your mental health minute, and then we'll get going with the rest of the show.
So the mental health minute for this week is directly related to what's happening right now. We see in society. Faith without work is dead, right? And I want everybody to understand what I mean by that. We see a lot of things happening. People got a lot of different opinions, how they feel about this, how they feel about that, what should have happened. They can't believe. Faith without work is dead. Yes, you believe that the Creator is going to bring us through this, but you got to work while you wait. What is our plan? Understanding the serenity prayer. God grant the serenity to accept the things that you cannot change, and also knowing the things that you can, right? And I'm paraphrasing for us to understand that the things that you know that you can do something about, or is building relationships with your community, family, working on your own system. You continue to pray for strength, continue to ask for guidance, continue to ask for path, but also make a plan. How are you going to get to this harmony that you want to see in your community? How are you going to get to this ecosystem that you want to see in your society or your town? You have to make a plan and make sure that you are part of that plan. And sometimes you have to lead that plan. You might have to create it and share it with others. But again, faith without work is dead. You can pray till you pass out. If you don't have a plan to make it become a realistic thing in your life, understand that other words say if you take one step, he takes two. We got to make a plan. We got to believe that this plan will help us get to the place where we need to be and continue to work. That's it. What's the groove, Chuck?
Well, brother Mac, we thank you for that mental health minute. And faith without works is dead. I mean, you ain't got no motion, and you can't be in the groove if you ain't got no motion, baby. And I'm trying to tell you, man, the thing that we did yesterday and the day before that and the day before that, we remained in motion. And sometimes that's all you can do, is that even when you get to the end of the record, sometimes you just got to start it over, because that's your groove. You know, that's the music that keeps you going. So I wanted to take tonight's what's the groove, and dedicate it to my wife and the creme de la coast cotillion botillion participants. Um, and I'm saying that and dedicating that, and I hope she sees this at some point. Uh, we started the first creme de la coast before COVID, before the pandemic, right? And with the onset of the pandemic, we had to take a couple years off. Then you bring it back, and one of the participants or the co-presenters was the Bros, the Omegas, in particular out of Upsilon. Um, and I'm sharing all of this is for a reason. What I'm saying is that everybody that has the idea or is with you in the beginning may not be with you when you see that increase. Everybody that's with you when you first get on the groove ain't gonna be on the groove with you when the record really get to going. So with Mississippi Move, with Black with No Chaser, even and I say this very grimly, or with the utmost respect for the friends and frat brothers and classmates that we've lost, even the people that started out in college with you when you were a young person, they may not be with you on the other side of things when you're realizing the thing that God put you here to do, or even um, beyond the points in your life where you are no longer living in your youth. You're living in your age where you're supposed to be about that action. You're supposed to be in your groove, or you creating grooves for others. So I do want to say, uh, rest in peace to our friend and brother Eric Dixon. He was Gamma Upsilon, which is the Tougaloo Alpha, as Mac had on his Tougaloo Sigmas t-shirt. And I want to remind everybody that the ideas that God blesses you, and this is straight from Bart too. These are great ideas. These ideas will, even if you do nothing with them, they may show up again later, they may go on without you after you quit. You might be one of those people that quit. But to the point that I began with is that my wife is one of those people that don't quit. She's going to commit herself to causes that uplift young people as a cheer coach and as I would say the executive director of the Creme de la Coast Cotillion Botillion. Thousands upon thousands of dollars are raised for these young people to be able to continue their education. And this year, I think you can say that they 10x the number of guys that they had from the previous year. And there are some people and organizations that are still there, and then there's some that are not. But at the end of the day, the purpose and the passion is being cultivated and served. And I just want to say, man, for anybody that's a teacher out there, anybody that's a coach, anybody that is working with young people, in the words of my father, do not grow weary in your well-doing, because it will be rewarded. And your time on this earth will be valued, and you and your family will be rewarded for your work. So that's the groove right there, man. I want y'all to stick in the groove, man. Whatever you got to do to find your groove, do it and stick with it. And with that being said, we are going to welcome our brother to the stage. Let me see if I can get some applause ready for him. He's no stranger to Nightcap Knowledge. Our friend, our brother, ladies and gentlemen, welcome CJ Lawrence. There he is, looking just like himself, looking just like.
Oh, hey man, y'all. Hey man, what's happening, bro? What's good?
Man, the joke. And is he rested? Look how you
Man, I was playing Earth, Wind, and Fire in my head, man.
Damn, what up, Seeker? What's up, Seeker?
What up, sir? What up, sir?
Yeah, man. Yeah, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. You on the journey. Everybody can't go.
Hey,
no, bro. Hey.
Listen,
Man, I was just listening to you. Did you say Eric passed?
Eric T. Ware Line, brother.
Yeah.
The tail from 99.
Yeah. Had no idea, bro. Had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Man, he was a good dude, man.
And while we're talking about Tougaloo, also rest in power to Marquise Hunt, who
recent Tougaloo grad, right?
Yeah, recently he graduated in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, Tougaloo's is that community. It's a community, right? It's not just the college, and it's not just talking about the folks area outside, because we are so small, but we're so connected that we know folks that are years behind us or years ahead of us, and our paths are crossed. So we definitely, give support and positive energy to their families.
What's up, sir?
Yeah, man. It's a lot, brother. Where you, Chuck, you navigate this ship. Where you want to dive off into? Cause, hey, you see, I started off right.
Yeah,
I got some black level.
So yeah, definitely. For everybody that's out there in the comments, we thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being on X, aka Twitter. YouTube is jumping. CJ's got his Core Water. If you want to talk about brand partnerships and sponsorships, we're here for that. You can reach us at shop@blackwindowchaser.com or nightcapknowledge.com. So everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, please keep chiming in, letting us know what you're thinking out there. The topic for this evening, the topic for Nightcap Knowledge tonight is this: from marginalized to middle class, no one escapes Trump's executive orders. And the way that I'd like to start it off is this: we've got our resident legal expert in brother C.E. Lawrence the third. Sounding like a bishop right there. C.E. Lawrence the third. Hey man, so look, let's start here, because there might be some people that don't know exactly what an executive order is. So let's define what executive orders are, what these memorandums are, what these proclamations are, and then how these things differ.
Bullshit. But
Okay.
anyway,
Well, no, man. Good evening, y'all, man. I'm glad to be here with y'all again, bro, tonight. And so I'm really, really just excited that y'all invited me on to talk about these subjects. Before we jump into executive orders,
Yeah.
and I be trying not to curse, man.
I mean, hey, we good now. We through the first 15 minutes. We good.
All right, before we jump into executive orders and this stuff that this dude has done, uh, I just want to kind of set the stage for what hierarchy looks like as far as laws in America. So the highest law of the land is the Constitution, right? So there's no law supersedes the Constitution.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, no law supersedes the Constitution. The Supreme Court is in charge of interpreting the Constitution. So they can modify the
Yeah.
Constitution or modify laws, which would be the equivalent of the laws that are within the Constitution by interpreting the Constitution. In interpreting the Constitution, if they were to add nuance to rules, what they essentially, in essence, then do is create new law. Both of those that they would be precedent. That would be case law that is established at the highest level. And so those, so Supreme Court law and constitutional law, highest laws of the land. Everything is supposed to fall under that. Then you have your so with the executive orders, they can kind of fall within that. The thing with the executive orders is they're not supposed to be in violation of constitutional law. So they're not supposed to be something that constitutionally a president doesn't have the right to have say or authority in, and it should not be something that is in violation of current legislation. So these executive orders that we're seeing into, or that we're seeing come up from things like 11246 or 11246 executive order, which was the Department of Labor rule that came up yesterday, where this dude basically rolled back a civil rights legislation that came through civil rights, which required that minority businesses have access to contract opportunities through the Department of Labor and through government. That's one of the ones that they rolled back yesterday. And when you talk about minority businesses, you're talking about women and everybody who is not a non-white male, essentially.
Right.
So
and that's kind of some of the stuff that I wanted to, and I definitely want you to continue, but I wanted this understanding that we hope to arrive at as a result of this conversation. Just to level set.
Yeah. Okay.
I am of the understanding, and I hope that through our conversation tonight, that other people who may watch this gain this same understanding, is that a lot of the things are quote unquote being aimed at black people, but
Yeah.
we're really the last line of people that will feel the effects of these said executive orders and such. Like, we're included in the number, but some people don't understand that they are also in said number.
Right. And so like that's the thing about these sweeping things is the reality is that black people make up somewhere between 13% and 17 to 18% of this country by the numbers that the census has, right? Most recent census. So we are not an incredibly large percentage. The people who are dependent upon a lot of the things like diversity, equity, inclusion, you're talking about, I think 70% of the people who had those jobs, 70 to 80% of them were white women. In that when they removed all of the DEI jobs from the federal agencies, these were white women in those jobs. So it was the dudes who voted for Trump's wives who lost their jobs. It wasn't people from our communities, which when they say DEI, that's the new coded language for Black people. Like, regardless of what they say, I mean, at the end of the day, they talk about us.
Right.
These things that have been done are done directly in spite of Black people. There's no other way to articulate making it easier to discriminate within the workplace. If I'm drafting policy or removing policy, if I'm removing policy, which makes it more difficult to discriminate, or I'm crafting policy, which makes it easier to discriminate, which in case the executive order does both,
Right.
then there is no way that I can say that I am not functioning or working in conjunction with racism or in conjunction with other discriminatory ideas like sexism or any number of things when we talk about who these protected classes of people were who were designated under things like the Department of Labor, things like the EEOC, things like what they believe to be the case with DEI. And the reality is we're seeing it today, even with the rollback of things like the federal grants and loans. It is, if you go on TikTok right now, I promise you will see a white woman with her teeth fall out her goddamn mouth, crying about her TANF funds being taken away.
That's exactly
And
right.
that is not the picture of
That is not the marketing image that they associate with TANF.
When they use coded language, like the Southern Strategy used the language of the welfare queen and things like that, ways that they try to alienate the idea of people receiving federal subsidies, which people have the right to. And I mean, these are good programs. You're going to see who is really being impacted by these decisions. And yeah, to some degree, it might be us, but I think there's others that are feeling it more directly than they realize they would. Like they shut down. If they shut down federal grants today, federal funding, federal loan, if they shut down, pull up what departments had to shut down today. Like if you get a chance to, like so people can actually see what departments had to call in people and tell them, hey, we got to stop whatever we were doing. I think some federal hospitals had to call people and tell them they wasn't paying on their checks. Go ahead, Matt. Talk to us.
So the one that hurt the people the most, and I sent Chuck these credentials. Guess what falls under government agencies? USDA. What's under USDA? Farm, ag. Black farmers make a 1.4%. So all these big farmers, these big white farms, and all these states that supported this person, that supported Agent Orange, was right then, everything that they had coming to them is froze. No funds can move. Nothing. You think about that. Nothing. So the system, when it comes to TANF, milk and TANF are connected to support white farmers. After World War II, when they had so much leftover milk, they created legislation that milk should be served in all public schools, and the government pretty much allocate funds, but part of the funds has to go to milk. So if you had a daycare, you must sign up to receive milk. They come in and count the milk boxes. So that kept dairy farmers in business. TANF, well, they give large amount for food stamps, and TANF support local farmers because those are the folks that were sending food to the grocery stores. So when you cut off that, you don't just hurt us, you hurt the other folks that supported you in a large fashion. Because Mississippi imports $7 billion worth of food every year. That's a low end of what we did. So it's some folks, it's some tobacco chewing folks that are mad as shit right now because you playing with them. You know what I'm saying? You
Well,
playing with them.
they just did. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, man, I'm telling you, man, it's some people
And we just
They
need to sit back and watch the
they
show.
are
Sit back and
they got some wrinkles in their wranglers this evening, dog. I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, boy, they cutting up right now. Down in
Oh
chat,
shit.
down there by the chat. Yeah, you want that damn thing, Trump? Okay. So I'm I'm telling you, man, it's very very interesting to see. But like schools are in chaos.
Yeah, man.
Hospitals that are federally receiving federal funding, like any program, with for the most part, like I think a federal judge tonight tried to block part of it. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's gonna get. I mean,
Federalnewsnetwork.com reports that federal judge temporarily blocked Trump administration freeze on federal grants and
what
loans.
state was the judge?
Let's see.
one of his states.
That's what I'm interested in seeing.
The order
one.
from U.S. District Judge Lauren L. Ali Khan, and it doesn't say exactly
That don't
what
sound like
state.
one of the appointments to me.
All right, let's see. No. I'm going to go to another article. Yeah, Ali Khan, who was appointed by President Joe Biden, said in halting the spending freeze, it seems like the federal government currently doesn't actually know the full extent of the programs that are going to be subject to the pause.
I think it's $3 trillion worth of programs. Trillion with a T.
Trillion.
So you talking about like maybe like 10% of our entire, what is it, the GDP? Like
Yeah, gross domestic product.
or like it's $3 trillion is, I mean, like billions would be significant, but this is trillions of dollars of gridlock that has occurred today. If it's federal highways that were being built, they got stopped. Like they stopped building them today. If there were, stuff stopped today. People who were on federal contracts and things like that, some of them got told, we ain't gonna be able to pay you your reimbursements or whatever.
Our grant got stopped. Our
What?
grant, the grant that we were working on, the health, there's nothing that can happen right now until things, start to move. So I'm saying, like, the stuff that we are using to help the people that are in need the most. And let me tell you how the circle of life works. Some of these folks that we are trying to assist now that are being affected by diabetes, high blood pressure, those things that we're trying to help, were the leading people that put this country where they were. They were the breadwinners, they were the teachers, they were the nurses, they were the folks that worked hard for 40 plus years for these hospitals and school districts. And now they are in need of resources because the money they receive is not enough to take care of them. So they need community health programs to help them out. And then the same government that they paid into pauses on the programs that assist them and take care of them right now.
Yes.
So I want to add this to the conversation. The National Science Foundation postponed this week's panels for reviewing grant applications. Officials in Pritchard, Alabama, my hometown, Mobile, Pritchard, feared that they wouldn't receive infrastructure funding to fix their leaking drinking water system. Republican leaders in Louisiana said they were seeking clarity to ensure nothing was jeopardizing financial stability of the state. So now that's three different sets of people right there. So you've got like the research and nonprofit sector in the National Science Foundation. Then you've got city government, very small city government in Pritchard, Alabama. And then you've got state leaders from Louisiana that also happen to be Republican are affected by all of this. And that goes back to our kind of overarching theme for tonight. No one is escaping this.
Right.
And for those of you that thought that that you weren't going to be included, or that just because you didn't cast your vote for or against Trump, or you sat out, in this moment, I want you to understand that you made a decision. And this is and I think we well into our 30-minute break before cussing. This is the fuck around and find out moment for everybody. For real. I'm like no bull. Like this is the perfect time for y'all to be your teeth, like CJ said, the lady on TikTok with her teeth falling out. This is you clutching your pearls. This is you sitting up and your wife who had that clutch cushy position where all of these things are being ripped away for the sake of what? And we ain't even gonna get into the conversation around us being looked at as the fools of this side of glory, the world. Now,
I'm
I'm
gonna send it to y'all. So
send me this now. And one of the other things I wanted us to talk about, because we just experienced something, right? The Southeast, specifically lower Alabama, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Northwest Florida. It snowed. It snowed on places with beaches. And I ain't talking about beaches that are next to mountains. I'm talking about and then the whole renaming of a body of water. It snowed in South Mississippi. So we're talking about deregulation. We're talking about like all of these incentives for developers to build all of these new neighborhoods. We keep on like getting rid of trees, and we're not doing anything to mitigate, or the things that we could do to mitigate, we won't fund them, or we cut funding for them. All of these things are a result, and I'm not gonna leave the previous administration out of it. Like, everybody's doing a lot of things wrong. But the one thing that I want to insert at the middle of this conversation is that the community in which I belong, or the community that I belong to, we have one thing that we need to do. Fuck with each other.
yes,
Spend our money with each other. And pardon my French, the only thing that I need to be doing is finding out how I can set myself up to be insulated and protected from these heinous and idiotic positions that our government is putting us in. And these are bad decisions.
Yeah.
Just bad decisions.
I think you're absolutely right, Chuck. This moment is much less about them and much more about us, and how we seize the opportunity to commit to one another, support one another, build community around and with one another. And I mean that when I say we, I usually mean multiple we's. The first we is us as Black folk. The second we is anybody who ain't them. Okay? If you don't see yourself as identifying with them, then you need to be with us, and we need to be together building something that is distinguishable from what we're running up against. Something that people are bending their, like, twisting their minds to justify at this point. The day of the inauguration, you had the head of Twitter do a gesture that you can't even say on Twitter. You can't even post pictures of folks doing the things. You know what I mean? Like
Bruh.
you can't even. You know what I mean? Like, say the word, and I promise you getting suppressed on the platform. But you got the on the other platform doing gestures, and you got people twisting their minds around. Oh, well, that's not what he was doing. He was sending his heart to everyone. Like, come on, dog. Like, you can lie to your damn self, but you don't lie to me. Like, don't try to make me out of fool because you are one.
Let me throw this in here, and I want to give a head nod to one of the podcasts that I've recently began to listen to. I ain't gonna shout them out, forget them, but I'll give this thought, and it's not a new thought for me. It's not a new thought for me. The thought is this. I know that it's a couple of things. The two-party, or quote unquote two-party system, is something that is inherently flawed and it does not serve this particular country. This is the only one that I really know about, right? I've lived in it. It does not serve this country and its people. That's one.
Mhm.
Now, the other side of it is this. Between the two major quote unquote parties, there's one party that has been able to masterfully, and I'm saying that carefully, with all sort of skill, they have been able to run circles around, like they pulling up from half court, banking threes in terms of the way that they communicate.
Mhm.
The way that they communicate has been able to allow them to dominate the news cycle. The only person that has been able to dominate the news cycle the way that they did is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is able to dominate the news cycle in a way where he can almost guarantee forecast. That's what the weathermen do, right?
Mhm.
Forecast what is going to be the bottom line for whatever program he's involved in.
Mhm.
The other party, they don't have those things set up. Now, what are we doing right now? We're communicating and with our base, and we're speaking to them in a way that they can understand, but then also be educated. We need more people that are willing to speak to their base and communicate in a way where people can, one, hear, receive, and then act on the information.
I think we need more. I appreciate what you just said. I think that one, the people at the top of the party that is failing in that regard uh, should probably reconsider what their leadership looks like. They should probably start their leadership should probably start to look.
I'm sorry, I had to give you the horn. Go ahead.
Their leadership should probably start to look more like the people that's actually voting for it,
Come
or
on.
that has voted for it, and it and that and their and the messaging that they craft should start to reflect that early in the game. The reality is man, the night that Barack Obama got elected, and even before that, messaging within the conservative party has always been coded. They utilized during the Southern strategy, which we spoke to a little while ago, terms like welfare queen and war on drugs, and many of these phrases that they racialized to generate and build, to rev up races. In 2008, they decided, bro, ain't nothing like this shit with Barack Obama that happened tonight ever
Yeah.
happen again. They didn't wait till the next day. When that motherfucker was on stage giving his speech about being the president for everybody, they was at a restaurant writing on napkins like, oh, this shit ain't never happening again. We finna, hey, if we got to lie, cheat, and steal to ensure that nothing ever like this happens again, we about to start that shit today. And the next motherfucking week, the Tea Party was born, baby. And the Tea Party became all of these, the oath keepers and this and that. Black folks started getting killed. White supremacists start showing up at marches with guns when we was outside preaching and standing in our faces. That became the whole time Trump was calling Barack not an American, not a citizen. But from 2008 to 2016, he was standing in front of Fox News saying to the world, this man is not, he got to show us his birth certificate. For 8 years, he said that. 8 years later, he was the damn president. He was the president. He was their spokesperson. He went from their spokesperson to their president. But mind you, this was the same dude who bowed out of the 2011 race because he knew he couldn't beat Barack Obama. He bowed out of the race. So
he waited for his turn, waited for the right time, prime the pump.
Right. He bowed out of the primary when he was contemplating running for it. And so you think about that, they got systems in place, and those systems include them organizing folks from the podcast to the social media platforms,
all of that,
to them. In addition to that, knowing like, bro, people believe these damn lies. We tell them. You tell a lie. We tell enough of the lie. They're going to buy the lie, and they're going to consume the lie. And that's really what it boiled down to. And they've been telling their lie for 25 years at least. I mean, it's 2025 now. 2008 was damn near 20 years ago. People don't seem to realize that. Right. They've been running their campaign that whole time.
The entire time. And look, that's the motivating factor. Or the linchpin moment, right? All right, and we got Mac back. And CJ, I got that link from TikTok that you wanted us to bring up. And I'm gonna bring that up now. But you spoke to that motivating moment for that particular party. The thing that I'd like to bring to our conversation here is just because a person was able to achieve something that a particular group believes that he shouldn't have been able to achieve, they're willing to basically throw all of everything away just to prevent a few people from excelling past what they believe their place to be.
Yeah, man.
So is it the cut off your nose despite your face?
No, they cut off their face. They cut off the whole front of their fucking face just to get rid of a pimple.
Bro, that's facts. I mean, the thing is, man, people have been persuaded to dislike people who have not negatively impacted their lives, but support people to their detriment. And that's what they've been able to do with the magical language. Anytime a person, they got people defending racism in a different type of way now. They got you defending the Hitler salute. Got you defending it.
He was
saying that it's not what it is.
He was sending his art.
Right. If you can persuade people to do that for you without them actually benefiting from it, you have done you have indoctrinated them to the fullest. If you can make somebody lie on your behalf when it doesn't benefit them in any way to do so, other than for them to be able to reconcile within themselves, within their spirit, that they are not who they thought they were, because they support what they didn't realize they were supporting or don't want to believe they support.
Look, let's listen to and shout out to Shauna Sinise. I don't know if it's Shayna or Shauna. We just highlighted your comment there. And Dion does have the right formula. And one of the things that I'm drawing in terms of similarity is he and his camp, they over communicate. They're going to send out more messages than you can actually read. Now, I'm not saying that I want to do that, but what I'm saying is that we have to balance out the bullshit.
Yeah.
So we've got to put more good information, more positive information, more information that is unifying and uniting. Max sent us something earlier today. Unity begins with you. And if you're not putting things out there to further cultivate unity, then you are, my friend, you are being a part of the thing that divides us. So as CJ puts that on the screen, the BWNC membership is on the way. It's on the way. You will be able to donate, to subscribe, to do all of these things that will allow us to build bigger and better platforms. And then if you need a tax deductible donation, Mississippi Move is also here. So msmove.org, you can go and donate there right now. And we're going to play this little video right quick, and then we're going to get back to the conversation.
This is what Donald Trump and MAGA have done to America.
Somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying. I need somebody to fucking tell me they're lying right fucking now. Because what the fuck do you mean that I'm not gonna get my fucking SNAP benefits? What the fuck do you mean? Because what the fuck is happening? Do you Please, fucking tell me he's lying. I can't. What the fuck am I gonna do?
God damn.
Oh.
This is on all of you MAGA
All right.
Trumpers. Every single one of you lowlifes who voted for Donald
Oh.
Trump. This is on you.
Oh,
This is
hold
on-
on. I'm gonna bring it back up. My bad. I stopped the share too early.
Oh, that's all right. You know, like this the thing. I ain't gonna lie. I be watching that shit, bro. I probably rewound. Like, I probably rewound it a few times. But at the same time, it's kind of like I want to do the "I told you so" thing, but from a strategic standpoint, I'm wondering at some. But we done been burned so many times with the idea of trying to. But I'm trying to do the Fred Hampton thing. What you said, man? Hey, black power for black people. This power for these people. We trying to align po folks from all around, people who are struggling, the proletariat, instead of the bourgeoisie, right? And so, what is the way in which we can begin to tap into these people differently to make them see? And I don't know that there is anything, because, like I said, if they can convince themselves or be convinced that something that we obviously saw and witnessed was what it was, and he did it twice, if they can convince themselves of that, then it'd be very, very difficult for us to rationalize or reason with them, because we told them this was gonna happen. Like,
A bunch of people told a bunch of these folks that this was the game, this was the game plan, this is how it's going to play out.
billionaires are not standing on stage with this man because they trying to help poor folks. Like,
Absolutely not.
And it's the crazy. The richest men in the world are still trying to figure out ways to become richer. They already the richest people in the world. They still are making moves to become even more, separate the gap even more, bro.
What does history say about the hoarding of wealth?
I was gonna say what they say about the rich man getting into heaven. He got about much chance as what? A camel going through the eye of a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, boy, you so goddamn country.
But they're real.
It's true.
Like,
You got no argument. Let me get back to home. I wasn't saying you got about much chance of
a camel
going through the eye of a needle. Golly. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Look, let's go to the comments. She said, "Now call a spade a spade. This dude told everybody what he was gonna do, and us logically sound folks took it seriously and did not vote for him. While the lost and dumb took it as a comedic act in their favor." Have mercy, Lord.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of people that so you seen, like, and my thing is you've seen the ICE targeting schools and targeting various places, and they already are breaking up families and things like that, and there's a large outcry around it. They're targeting probably mostly, like, what I'm seeing mostly of is Hispanic communities.
Yeah.
And they're going after Hispanic citizens in particular. They're not looking for
Europeans. We didn't get to the deportation.
Right. They're not looking for Europeans when they going through these schools and things like that. They are looking for the pictures of the people that they painted as monsters during their campaign.
Right.
And so you're seeing, like, if you go on TikTok again or go on any of these platforms, you will find videos of people saying that they voted for this person and crying because he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
I
What's
just
the
don't
difference between
understand.
ICE and slave patrol?
Man, you not a
They
damn
got
thing.
they got they got different acronyms.
Pretty much. I mean, like, and if you
So,
take it a step
and
further
that's the
back, you saw where they
thing I
introduced
want us black
policy.
folks to understand. That they started with our
Bro, they've been trying to get Navajo people, indigenous people. They in Arizona, they were attacking
yeah.
indigenous people. Uh in uh in 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 other states, man, like that's what they're doing. They're harassing everyone from at every level. And so uh it's not just uh people who are maybe undocumented people.
Yeah, yeah. I think I mean, of course, the goal of the show was for us to show that this is far reaching. It has impact across racial lines. It has impact across socioeconomic lines. There is no one that is safe for this, and I know we're dealing with a little delay there, Mac. I want you to jump in now.
So my thing was this is the same thing they did back in time when they started to move our people. They always hide behind position of authority. They too scared to do it under just them. They got to hide behind their law. So they create a system. They get a authority like a law enforcement agency. They've done it since they've been riding horses and say, this is the law and this person said it, you have to do it. Regardless if it's right, regardless if it's legal. They always hide behind that to create a bigger thing, even though you turn around and abuse and break your own law that you wrote. You create the mass hysteria that we have to be afraid of these folks because they are, and I'm telling you, like, because they create the system. So you use them as your henchmen. Understand for us in Mississippi, it's Gibbs and Green Plaza at Jackson State. That was shot up by
Right.
state troopers. You know what I'm saying? So you using these things to do your bidding, but everybody has to respect them because it's there's a law enforcement agency, but you're using them as your henchmen. And that's the same thing what happened with ICE. These folks are already ready to go. As soon as you sign the thing, they already went and picked up folks, but they picking up who? You're
Right.
targeting folks. So black folks got to be careful because if they picking up Hispanics tomorrow, they're gonna be picking up us. I mean, picking up Hispanics today, they're gonna be picking up us tomorrow, and they're
Mhm.
getting closer and closer back to when they were doing the slave patrol and asking you why you going to this county, why you going to this city, and why you traveling in this truck. Show me proof. They're getting back to
Matt,
that and getting more comfortable with that.
Matt,
Yeah,
soon enough, bro, they're not only gonna be doing slave patrols or these ICE raids privately, they're gonna be streaming that shit. That's the next level of this shit. Is they gonna turn that shit into content. I promise you, that's where they are headed with it. Because you look at the new director of Homeland Security, she was dressed up in a uniform today. If you can go pull it up in New
Oh
York, talking
Lord.
about all right, like it was like episode of Cops. Like she was cosplaying as an ICE with police ICE on her with a vest on. Talk about we about to go catch some of these. I mean, like literally on TikTok. Like that shit is on TikTok,
He's on
and
TikTok.
bro. All of these things are things that they are pushing, and they're pushing it to continue to indoctrinate people around. This is what you wanted. We giving you what you wanted. And like there is a base of people that they have cultivated and curated over that period of time that we named from Southern Strategy, or even from if you want to start from Obama to now, they have been cultivating and curating this hate. And you can literally pinpoint all of the like kind of like moments where the racism really was peaking, uh, like Charlottesville, um,
hmm
you know, very fine people on both sides, or January 6th, or like you look at all of these things. They've been being radicalized for 2 decades, dog.
Yeah.
At least 2 decades. These are not people who just feel passionately about this dude because of what he's doing right now.
Yeah, bro. You're right. Is this the right clip, CJ? Because this is ABC News.
I don't know. It's gonna well that is in New York, but the lady she is actually doing a direct to camera. Hold on, I'm gonna type in
Hold
Department
on.
of Homeland Security.
You did it on TikTok? Like
I saw
CJ
it
is the
on. I
king
saw
of.
it on. Here she go. Christy Noem. Christy Noem. So KRS.
One of which.
Let me type in her name. If you, she's dressed up as a Isaac, bro. Like, and like, she's the director of Homeland Security.
Yeah, my stuff showing up in Greek
I don't know
letters.
what. I
Christy
don't know what that
Gnome
is.
videos. Nope. Is that my
It didn't come up.
VPN in action?
It
Let's
might be.
see.
Hold on. I'm trying to see.
Can you send me the direct link?
Yeah, as soon as I see it, I'm gonna send it to you.
All right.
Because it might be on X, but I saw it somewhere, bro.
I see
As soon as
this
I see
one.
it.
Can y'all see
So
that?
I want us to get to the bigger.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Matt. Get in there.
So the biggest question for us, and why I've been focused on all day, is why they're doing what they can do. What are we going to do locally? And this is something we started when COVID first hit. How we didn't have warehouses, you didn't have toilet paper to wipe your ass. You know what I'm saying? So we back in that same boat. We're like, oh Lord, what we going to do? It clearly keeps showing that we need to create our own base, our own system of our own ecosystem, how we can support each other and with basic necessities and continue to put aside petty differences and work to grow our own local strong economy and safety, right? When they talk about public safety, we need to have that, a strong system of that locally to help safeguard us from anything that might happen from the state or the federal level. So this is our third warning in our lifetime. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Are we going to grow our businesses and so forth? Are we going to pool our money together to buy the warehouses that we need? Are we going to plant the crop? Are we going to do the training and for security? Are we going to get to these things because it keeps happening to us and we talk about it, but we're not putting a plan into action, even if it just protect 20 to 30 or 40 or 50 people. What do we have in
Right.
place?
No, I agree 100%, man. And I think we've been developing, or not. Let me say, I think we've developed it. It has began to evolve, and we have to work on getting or fueling these vehicles that we've been able to build, and we know that with a little bit of gas here and there, we've been able to get by. Now we got to
Yes.
be able to say we got to get,
Mhm.
a full tank. We got to be able to have some reserves. And one of the ways that we can do this, and it doesn't hurt. It will not hurt. $5 here and there. Like a lot of y'all spend $5, $7, $8 on coffee. Now, imagine what it looks like if you said you're gonna take Mac. What's your favorite whiskey? Well, just how much it costs.
Mm.
A good bottle of whiskey for you. How much it costs?
This 40. This was 47.
$47. Let's say you take $50 and you say, I'm gonna divide that $50 up between 5 businesses or organizations, and you do that monthly, just monthly. $50. I know y'all drink more than $50 worth of whiskey in a month. If vodka, you might smoke more than $50 worth of herbal essence in a month. Well, and I'm not shaming you for doing that, because I mean this is Nightcap Knowledge. We've had a beverage here, and we're not encouraging you to do any of those things. What I'm saying is that we have to be more targeted in the way that we invest certain parts of our income and our budget.
Mhm.
If there is a place, an organization, a business that has a membership, what does it look like for you to invest $5 or $10 a month with that business? If it's your institution of higher education that you graduated from, what does it hurt you to take $150 and say I'm gonna give this $50 to
Super.
Tougaloo, to Jackson State, to Alcorn, to Black with No Chaser,
Mhm.
to Mississippi Move, Mississippi Votes, NAACP. Like now, I just named off a whole bunch of them, but you got to give it to somebody that's really about that action, really about that movement.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I think that's where we are with things. When I was saying it's about us, this is really about us making sure that we organize ourselves right now, that we educate ourselves up front, and that we are calling things out. But we ain't got to preach to them. We ain't got to like convince them to accept us. Fuck that. Like this is not when we're having conversations around what's happening in this country. It is not because we trying to be at any table that they have. We got plenty. It's plenty of wood, and we can build our own motherfucking tables, and we can thrive for ourselves, with ourselves, and build up our communities. And
That's right.
we've done a lot of our businesses, a lot of our institutions, a lot of our nonprofits really have done it without the resources. So if we can have resources associated with what we do,
Right.
like if we can actually do it without having to do it from a place of struggle at all times, then you're gonna really see a lot of our institute. You're gonna see a lot of our companies, a lot of our nonprofits thrive. And I think that's
That's
the way
right.
we got to start thinking about it. Is
That's
hey,
right.
y'all line it up on y'all side. We finna line it up on ours.
Yeah, and look, and what we're speaking to, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate what looks like to be 70, 68 of you guys that are still tuned in with us over on X, and a few on YouTube and Facebook. We're talking about, we're not necessarily even focusing on like reversing the damage. Like the damage is going to be done. I hope you understand that. There will be damage done. There is no way that we can get away from it. The thing that we're attempting to put in place, or at the very least communicate to you that we've already been putting these things in place, is that we have to invest in ourselves and our own systems. So we spoke to developing
Mhm.
our own communities, right? If we're developing our own communities, what do our communities need? If we're attempting to develop a particular organization, what does that organization need? If you've seen this organization doing a particularly good amount of work, or they've been good in one particular area, and you can readily say, man, if they had this, man, they'd be really doing it. Like they would blow up, or they would be able to do X, Y, and Z. You thinking that in your head and you not finding a way to share that with that person or that organization, you're part of the problem. So at some point, I need you to get off the sideline. I need you to get into action. I need you to get in the game. And it's okay. It's okay to get in the game. It's a fun thing to be able to get in the game. It's
Mhm.
cool to be about that action. So at a point, you gotta at least get in the kitchen to bake the biscuits. And sometimes you might leave from the kitchen baking the biscuits, and you might even start passing them out. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I see CJ's he's getting more pizza. It looks like Mac is going to be having another beverage. We're going to do some things offline. I also wanted to be able to remind you that if you have not, if you have a business and you have not registered your business for Mississippi Black Pages, you can go to msblackpages.com. We have a mixer that is coming up. If I'm not mistaken, Trina has a mixer planned at Center Stage, Center Stage in Jackson, Mississippi. She has that planned for this particular Thursday. And we definitely want to also invite you to the grand reopening, the all new Herbal Wellness South. And we also want to invite you to tune in and tap in to blackwithnochaser.com. And, you know, without a doubt, Mississippi Move is going to be passing out water and taking care of our elders somewhere in the state of Mississippi. So we encourage you to do the same. Water is an easy thing to pass out, and can't nobody stop you from doing it. This is Nightcap Knowledge. We put some on your head before you go to bed. And as always, we're going to get to where the money resides. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. We're here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, always on Black with No Chaser. We'll see y'all next week.